Hello, fabulous Leo. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of December 2015 general focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. I've been saying to all the signs out there, the month is beginning on a note that may feel more serious for some than others. But it really is all of us out there who in some way will be facing some truth about ourselves, about the people around us, in at least one area of life. So in at least one area of life, there is an honest evaluation, some very honest feedback as well. And the universe is going to be absolutely clear to you about who you are, where you are, and who you are not. And it ultimately is about accepting the reality of where you are in your life at this given time. Now, this is very essential, and it's essential as part of the process that is going to lead you to some really wonderful breakthroughs not too far at all after the month begins. And it's right around the middle of the month that some wonderful developments start taking place that represent forward momentum and real opportunities showing up that change everything for the better, for the more enjoyable, and for the more inspiring as well. So that truth is necessary to get you to the positive changes that are set to take place. So we have got, at the beginning of the month, the sun meeting Saturn in the sky. This is that moment of truth. For you, as a Leo, I think that this moment of truth is going to speak on a few different levels. One has to do with love, and so I'll talk about that in the love-focused horoscope for your sign. Another part of this has to do with creative projects, okay? So if there is any kind of, especially if you're engaged in any kind of creative pursuit, if there's something that you've cared about, wanted to do more of, this is going to be that time when you are looking at where you are, taking a much more honest evaluation of where you are, how you feel about where you are, and from there, having a clearer understanding of what still needs to happen if you are going to bring this project or idea to a further fruition. And it does seem to me that at least a few Leos out there manifesting this in terms of a creative project, it may be that you thought you were further along than you actually are. It may also be that you had a certain assessment of what it is that you've done, and this is going to be some feedback that is basically saying you got to go back to the drawing board. A lot of it depends on how much you have been doing up until this time. However, this is feedback that is very needed and very necessary as well. Because I do feel as I look at this that some honest feedback and an honest evaluation does need to happen so that meaningful change can also occur. Especially if you've been doing something, you know, I think of like the fixed signs out there like yours. The fixed signs, there's an interest in being true to yourself, right? Not wanting to sell out is a part of what the fixed signs are very strongly about. And if you have been doing that, right? If you've been looking at doing what you're doing not from a more genuine place where the creativity flows that much more freely and feels that much more joyous, but doing it from a place where you're thinking about how other people are going to receive this, then that is where you're going to get that evaluation and a moment of self-reflection that ultimately is about putting you on the right track towards trusting your creativity. Those of you, or some of you out there, might experience this energy a little bit differently, especially where it comes to matters of children, or even matters of having children as well. So if you want children or you have children. So beginning of the month, it seems, you know, like some serious news is around. A need to bring a more adult approach. Maybe you have to be a little bit of a disciplinarian as the month is beginning. But there will be wonderful turnarounds possible. So regardless of whatever shows up around your children or around news that you get regarding your fertility, dramatic and positive turnarounds are definitely available to you. and very quickly as well. So it'll only be about 2 weeks later that the situation is dramatically different and dramatically improved as well. So whether you have teenagers and it's been hard to sort of, get through to them, or, whether there's been some areas of concern. Parents always want the best for their kids, and they do the best from where they are, what they know. So if there is, anything that's sort of making you more aware that there's an area that needs attention for your child, ultimately and really very quickly, the situation will turn around very much for the better. And I just see you feeling really grateful and really glad that things turned out really well, especially once we get you to the middle of the month. And again, where it comes to areas of fertility, if you've been trying to have a child, you want to have a child, as the month begins, there might be some pessimism there, but that can turn around. And I do think, again, if you want to have children, this can be a time when you find yourself surprisingly and very quickly with child. So if that's something that matters to you, it certainly is available to you as well. As we move towards the end of the month, there is going to be a full moon taking place. Now, this full moon is happening in a very quiet part of your sky. And I think that as the month is ending, there's just so much energy and activity and even fun as well, especially around the middle of the month, joyous celebrations taking place, that by the time you're moving towards the later part of the month, there's going to be a part of you that is going to want to turn inward, that is going to be more interested in a little bit of self-examination, but also rooting your faith and understanding who it is that you really want to be. And what I'm also seeing is where it is that there are, parts of you, we all have them. Carl Jung called them our shadow, right? Ultimately, the entire universe is within you. So even those things that you say, that's not me, and you reject, on some level, it's within you. And it's very likely that an awareness is going to rise that will give way to a tremendous amount of compassion that may very well surprise you. In fact, I do think that there will be some Leos out there who are called on to demonstrate acts of kindness, acts of compassion, acts of truly giving and truly sharing that can create an experience for you that leaves you changed for a very, very long time to come. That really helps you to understand yourself and your willingness to love, your willingness to love unconditionally. Now, I mean this in a more universal kind of way, but your willingness to actually be there for other people with no expectation of, an equal exchange, but rather just to give, just from a space of humanity. That is really where the reward is going to come. And I think that some Leos out there actually are going to be very surprised to find themselves welling up with emotion and feeling called on, inspired to make some meaningful changes as well. What I love about this month for you is that on the one hand, life is going to get more fun, and that's awesome. What starts out as seeming to be a little bit uncertain or even of concern has the dramatic ability to turn around into something absolutely buoyant and positive. And what I also love about this month is that you get in touch with something within you as well, a connection to your own spirit. And that connection, that moment of reflection, that time that you spend alone and allow yourself to be honest about the experiences you've had and what kind of person you want to be in the world, ensures that you are ending this year and starting the next with a clearer understanding and a stronger sense of self-respect, knowing that you truly are who you desire to be.